Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamerdad, with another video for you. So again, hopefully everyone had a great holiday if you guys celebrate Christmas. If you didn't, hopefully either way you had some Christmas, like some holiday time off or some winter time off in order to enjoy the weekend. Now that being said, we do have a new update as of tomorrow evening, about 22 hours from now. Unfortunately, I was out for a family dinner and so wasn't able to access my iPad until now. Update 3.3.110, Ally Encounter Wenefica. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So this is going to be an in-game update. Same update as before, 3.110. So just make sure you just reset your game. It'll load up. No need to go to the App Store or Play Store. And unfortunately, that means for iOS users, this is going to drop exactly, in my time zone at least, 7 p.m. tomorrow. So, Wenefica. What's there to say about her? Well, she is our newest Shade Zone setter. She's going to have a very similar effect to Valette in the fact that she can boost Shade damage by up to 99%. Very similar based on the number of stacks. And just like Valette, Wenefica's damage and moves ramp up extraordinarily after she gets 50 stacks. And so in this case, instead of Thunder hitting for X amounts of stacks, I believe this one actually just builds up with 20 per turn. Not sure if it actually, I'm not sure if you get it also from hitting the enemy, but I believe it just builds up by 20 at the end of each turn. Now, when someone takes damage, aka Wenefica, then the stack actually goes down by 1. So I'm not sure if you have to actually wait 3 turns to really get it going, or if there are other ways to build the stacking ability. However, her specialty is not just setting Shade Zone and not keeping the zombie team alive, aka Efi, which of course was our first Shade Zone setter. Wenefica has a lot of weird curses that basically play off those that kind of what they call cursed words, which basically builds up by 20 stacks at the end of each turn. She has things that basically attack at the end. These are all happening at the end of turn. Basically, Shade type Pierce attack on all cursed enemies. The damage does ramp up with the number of stacks, obviously. She'll also have things that can inflict poison and pain on all enemies, and actually can stun and sleep enemies as well when they're cursed. And this is going to have mega poison and pain damage, and nothing like we've seen before, even more powerful than, for example, the AS Biakas of the world or the AS Palms of the world. I think if they do them together, they actually will combine off each other in terms of really ramping up pain and poison damage. But either way, she's got basically ways to basically damage you with attacks at the end of turn, stun, sleep, status, pain and poison damage, also things that can actually weaken the enemies by pure raw stats, so not a dual debuff per se, but can actually curse them with power, int, endurance, and spirit, minus 5% per stack. And again, that depends on the number of when the curse words is above 50, very similar to the Valette. So it should see really interesting how to really get those stacked up. And I said I'll have to experiment with the unit itself if I do get her in order to see how to best build up those stacks. But it will be very, very fun when you get up to ramped up 50 or more and see all those different effects. Now, one last thing is, obviously, as a Stellar Awakened unit, if you got all those moves unlocked as well, you'll have an additional curse, which is called the Curse of Death, which can actually do 100 million damage in one go, on top of any other damage that's caused by either her attacks, your companion's attacks, or all the other statuses you inflict. So very, very, very interesting way of playing. I think there's actually a Japan video that came out where the cursing and all those combined can do billions of damage. So really looking forward to testing her out, and obviously if I get her, because as you know, with the Stellar Awakened system, if you get a 4.5, you will not have access to her Stellar Awakened abilities. This banner also should have a pickup bonus so that if you do hit the 5-star as a natural, it will automatically get 3 out of 3 Stellar Awakening gauges, as opposed to you needing an all cosmos or 2 star chart wise to side grade her. Now, if you ever hit her in the future, of course, and that's going to be later on, then you will have to use upwards of most likely 2 or 3 all Cosmos star charts, depending if you hit a 4.5 or a 5 in the future. So pretty interesting stuff, and again, nice to add to a Shade team. Not like Shade team really needs a lot of help, being that we already have Eevee and Yakumo. Alright, so same thing. You can see the pickup bonus, just like Oboro, just like Sirius. Not sure how long this banner will last. Hopefully longer than the previous one, where it only lasted for a couple weeks. Also, there is Faithful, just like the Sirius and Oboro. So if you're willing to pay paid stones, you'll have an increased chance of obviously of getting her as opposed to free players. And if you do hit her during the Faithful, you'll also have the full 3 out of 3 gauged Awakened, which is very, very nice. And of course, if you hit a bonus one, you get, instead of 16 additional shadow, you'll get 26. So for example, if you hit the first one, it'll be 16, and then the second one will be 16 plus 26, which will be your 42 shadow Wenefica. So nice way to give a little bit of a bonus for those who are light spenders or heavy spenders trying to get multiple copies of the 5-star out there. A reminder that to fully Stellar unlock all the Stellar Awakened board, you will need 80. However, really by 30, or I would say that most of the major nodes are unlocked in terms of 4 abilities upgraded and so on and so forth. Now, on top of spending on that Faithful, if you still have paid stones left over, or if you're new to the game and you still have that 1,000 discounted Chronostone that you can buy for one-time use only, there is the long-awaited Star Dream encounter. And so again, I know there are a lot of new players from the collab. Unfortunately, I have not finished the collab, being that holiday season has been extremely busy. Some of you probably don't know this, but I'm quite involved in church, and so whenever it's kind of like these special celebrations, I am obliged to spend more time doing other things rather than playing Eden. Now that being said, the Star Dream is a selector, so for 1,000 paid stones, you get to choose any unit as a 5-star, and it comes guaranteed. Now you also get 10 pull, and a 10 pull's not guaranteed for anything. It's kind of like a 10 whispers kind of thing. General banner. If you hit, you hit. If you don't, you don't. If you do pull, you can access every unit up to the last December 19th update, which should include Oboro as well as Sirius. However, note that these Star Dream pieces, if you select the unit, will not have the pickup bonus. It is not directly mentioned, and so therefore you must assume that you only get 1 out of 3 Awakening gauges if you happen to choose Oboro and Sirius. Okay? So, other than that, I actually don't think there's anything new. Just a banner. Not sure about anything specifically about Chronostones buying during New Year's. I guess with the time changeover or whatnot, it can be glitchy. So, the devs are warning you that if you are paying, just make sure you don't lose out on your purchases. And of course, if you do, contact support. They're pretty good in fixing things for you. So let me know what you think about summoning for this witch. Whether or not she's waifu, she's just awesome, she's interesting. Do you even care since you have Eevee? Or, anyways, what do you think about that? And of course, continually, we can always continue discussing the Stellar Awakened system now that there's been a fair number of units that have been released under the Stellar Awakened system. Now, for myself, I do plan to summon a fair bit on Wenefica. I hope I don't have to summon too much, and I will say that in future banners, if I ever do hit Stellar Awakened unit as a 4.5, I will be forced to, just like in previous times, to stop at that point. I will not be pulling after that to get the 5-star. So that's just the new reality of a free-to-play. If you hit one in any form, you still have to stop and consider that a win, even though it really isn't, and use 3 Cosmos star charts to side grade that 3 months into the future. Anyways, more talk about that tomorrow in our Should You Summons, and of course, my inevitable summon video, good or bad. Gamer Mom's going to be here. Hopefully she has the great luck in pulling the witch. Although, since my last comment about my, Stellar Awakened Suzette in the 5-star review, I'm not sure she's on really good terms with me. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.